An issue for Kiffin Simpson, who had done so brilliantly to qualify in the top 10 for the second race in a row. Can't get it in gear, I'm hearing, and what a shame for him. Newgarden on pit road already, and that is from a P6 starting place.
He's now back up and running, but will be all the way to the back of the field before this thing's even started.
They look up to see the green flag, and it waves now for them, and we are racing at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the Sonsio Grand Prix. Alex Palou hugging that wall all the way down to turn one with a massive braking point coming for them all.
Graham Rahal knows he has a tire advantage, and he makes it work to the outside. Brilliant stuff. He hasn't won in 129 races. He gets it done in turn one.
Well, it's not over yet, guys. Turn four, big action, 3 wide behind. That's one of the ECR machines. Rasmussen trying to get sporty there on those soft tires. Single file has to be through the chicane. So far, everyone playing nice.
Graham Rahal had one job, make those tires count at the start, and boy has he done it. He leads this race as Power takes a look at the McLaren ahead of him, all pretty neat and tidy.
Here comes Joseph Newgarden at the back of the field, makes 2 positions in the brake zone for turn 7. He's got to be smart, but very decisive with each move. He only has 84 more laps. At the back, there's spin and maybe contact as one of the Prema cars is at the back of the line, and Colton Herta with a powertrain maybe issue. Looked like smoke, maybe fire at the back of his car.
As Pato O'Ward takes a look up the inside of Scott McLaughlin, will run him towards the curb, and McLaughlin gets his elbows out and says, "It's not going to be that easy for you, my young friend." Get a look at the contact at the rear. That's Connor Daly making the move, getting tagged just a touch by the Prema. I couldn't see if that was Eilert. It was Eilert, and Eilert gets bumped.
We'll take a look at Marcus Ericsson, who I think had some kind of a drivetrain issue coming off of turn 12. Let's listen here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. That's not
I mean, it sounded like it was running on 2 of the 6 cylinders there. That sounds horrible.
Something very unhealthy in the back of that car. Foster on the inside of Lundgaard down into turn 1, forces him off and makes the move. Now Rossi trying to fight back against the guy who is in the car he drove last year. Can't hang it around the outside. All coming unglued here.
Rinus VK in a battle with Felix Rosenqvist, and Rosenqvist spins around, get himself going again, so no caution flag out, and straight back into the thick of the action as Connor Daly has a look and tries to get through as well. Action thick and fast throughout the field today, guys. What a race we have on our hands with 26 laps of 85 complete.
You see here, just not quite sure. You know, Rinus doesn't know he's coming, and then off the exit there, just gets into the back of him as he lifts off the throttle.
Here comes Alex Palou at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Rahal trying to defend, and Palou gets right up on the inside of him, coming down into the hard braking zone. Left-hander. Palou didn't need to wait for the pit stop. He retakes the lead from pole position back to second, now up to first. Palou with a great move to take that away from Graham Rahal. Less than 30 seconds of push to pass remain for Rahal, who does now jump to the pit lane for what will be his final stop. He will be ever so glad to have a fresh set of tires, but are they the tires that will take him to the podium, Georgia?
Graham Rahal actually wanted to come in a lap earlier. He told the team he felt like the left rear was coming down to the cords, but they asked him to stay out one more lap. But you guys are right, he's going to go to his last set of sticker hard tires. Graham Rahal.
Doesn't get the drop down, was being called out almost into the path of another car. It is not just a slow stop, but one that may just take him out of contention for the podium.
Totally, that was a disaster.
We have a car
David
on the
Malukas is
grass.
off, and it stops. James,
You
Will,
it's not.
it could be a caution.
No.
It must be a caution.
Not in 2025.
It has to be a caution.
No, surely not.
Flagman Aaron Likens holding the yellow flag, waiting for word from race control.
It's out! He's got a caution!
Alex Palou with a monster jump, and now snakes his way down the front straightaway to try to break the draft for O'Ward.
Pato O'Ward going with him, trying to get tucked up into the slipstream. Has a great run, looks to the inside, but Palou defends, and Pato will have to come inside, and Scott Dixon making the move around the outside of Graham Rahal for 5th.
Great move from Dixie, using those soft tires around the outside. Had the inside for turn 1. You see push to pass there in the pylon. Remember, you cannot use it on the first lap of a restart. So these are all just legit passes as we see cars swirling through the 5-6 chicane, trying to get tire temp back in.
Alex Palou once again has done everything he needed to do. He came into this weekend looking at statistics that were on par with some of the greatest this sport has ever known. We talk about the greats, the Unsers, the Andrettis, AJ Foyt. Alex Palou's record this season matches them all. He wins 4 from the first 5. Incredible.
Up next, it's the 109th running of the Indianapolis 500, Sunday, May 25th at 10 a.m. Eastern on Fox.
Of
Derik,
the Push to Pass podcast. I am Derik Vance, and I will be bringing in Josh and Michael here shortly. I know Michael has had a long day out covering the opening day here of the 109th running of the Indianapolis 500. We will talk about that here as the show unfolds. We'll look at the speed charts from practice number 1, and then Michael, like he did today in the media bullpen session, was able to grab about a half dozen or so interviews. We will listen to those here again as the show unfolds. But before we get into any of that, we will discuss and recap what was a interesting race for some, not so interesting for others. Sonsio Grand Prix this past Saturday. But before we get into any of that, let's bring in the other 2 co-hosts of the Push to Pass podcast right there, Josh Roberts and Michael Monroe. Josh, I'll start with you. Great to be back here on this Tuesday evening. We are now 1 day closer to the 109th running of the Indianapolis 500. Before we get your input and thoughts on what we witnessed this past Saturday, how's everything over there in your neck of the woods?
Everything's good so far over here. Wanted to get out to the track today, but wasn't able to. I'm most likely going to go out there tomorrow, hang out for a couple hours, and see what I can get into. Just hanging out. Today I'm wearing my Dan Weldon 2005 IndyCar shirt from the shop. You know, everyone, if you're from Indy, you know what the shop is. I know it's a free plug for them, but go out and see their hauler out there. They got another Dan Weldon tribute shirt this year. I'm going to go out and look and see if if they have my size, but a great driver taken from us way too soon. But 20 years ago this May, Dan Weldon won the 500. So we're looking forward to seeing what we're going to have the rest of the month.
Yes, we absolutely are. And I know Michael just got back a few hours ago from covering what was a rain-shortened first practice, but practice nonetheless. Obviously, we will talk about that here later in the show. But before we get to that, busy day for you, Mike, but how's everything over there in your living space?
Well, honestly, I'm just glad to be at home doing this and not on the road or stuck out in the rain. I think it's actually stopped here, but very rainy day, but very busy day, and very excited to be at the racetrack.
Yeah, definitely was busy, and like we said, as I just reiterated, we will get to what we've seen here today at IMS. Obviously it was rain shortened. Practice was supposed to run from 12 to 6, but looks like things didn't get kicked off there till about 3 o'clock. And then I think lightning hit about 20 or so minutes left in the session. So the session was cut short, obviously on the front end and the back end. But like I said, we'll discuss that here momentarily. First, we do need to get to what we witnessed this past weekend out on the IMS road course. And what I'm referring to is the Sonsio Grand Prix. And if you're new to the show, or if you're like the cool kids up here, say an OG of the show, I'm going to talk about my 5 takeaways. You can find these if you're interested in reading them yourself on the Push to Pass website, WordPress website, or go over to yournews.com under the auto racing section. That is where you'll find articles by myself. Michael's starting to post those as well. Maybe, Michael, just maybe we can get Josh to post his thoughts over there as well. We'll see how that happens. Josh is probably the best of the English language between all 3 of us, but we'll see how that goes. But like I said, getting into my 5 takeaways, and then I know I have it lined up as well. Michael does do a column as well, winners and losers from each race, so we'll have those set to go as well. He can discuss those here momentarily, but obviously first and foremost, big congratulations obviously goes out to, again, and it seems like this is a broken record, Alex Palou and the whole number 10 DHL Honda Chip Ganassi crew for collecting, if you can believe this, their 4th win in 5 races this season, as they captured their 3rd straight Sonsio Grand Prix on Saturday out at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway road course. My first, or I guess my 5th takeaway from this, and actually I have a video about my 5th takeaway. Surprisingly enough, the yellow flag made its return to TV. Let's check it out.
And currently sits 9th, and we have a car
David
on the
Malukas is
grass.
off, and it stops. James,
You
Will,
It's not.
it could be a caution.
No.
It must be a caution.
Not in
It
2025.
has to be a caution.
No, surely not.
Flagman Aaron Likens holding the yellow flag, waiting for word from race control.
It's
The
out!
caution is
He's
out.
got a caution!
Over 400 green flag consecutive laps in IndyCar in 2025 comes to an end. The commentator's curse continues, with Townsend Bell saying, can anything happen to ruin this for Palou? The answer is yes.
This is Indianapolis, where dreams are made.
Oh, my word. I wasn't expecting this level of excitement over a yellow flag.
Hey,
but here we are.
What do cautions breed? What do cautions breed?
More cautions, my friend.
Let's go.
Alex Palou had a frankly ridiculous lead at the point that the caution came out. 10.2 seconds to the good, and a second a lap faster than anyone else out on track as the AMR IndyCar safety team get to work, removing the car of David Malukas.
Fellas, we finally had our first caution in 408 consecutive laps, lap 70 there on Saturday. In my opinion, this is quite an impressive stretch by the skilled drivers that make up the NTT IndyCar series. And excuse me, I would be shocked if we see another stretch like this anytime soon, obviously with the high-speed oval that awaits at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. But curious to get your guys' thoughts. Finally, one caution, but we went 408 straight laps without one.
Yeah, it definitely shows the skill of these drivers to go that long from lap 1 of the inaugural race of the opening race in St. Petersburg all the way till about the second week of May. I don't know if Alex Palou was bummed for it or excited. I know up in the press box and the press center, most everybody was excited, and they started clapping for a caution, which is kind of weird. So, I mean, It is what it is. I guarantee you we weren't going to make it through the month of May, whether it be in the Sonsio or the Indy 500. We weren't going to make it through caution free. So it is what it is, and we will move on, and maybe we can build another streak up.
Yeah, I kind of thought we'd get through the Grand Prix without a caution, and then we'd have a caution fest second half of the season, because Indy, of course, is pretty high speed oval. That's going to probably cause some trouble for people, and then the street to Detroit is chaos every year. So yeah, will be exciting to see what happens there in a couple of weeks at Detroit as well. But yeah, cautions. It was exciting, but I was kind of shocked there wasn't a bet about who would have brought the caution out. That could have been a good bet. But yeah, we'll see what happens in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, we most certainly will, and I wouldn't have thought it would have been David Malukas, said, Michael. To your point, who would have brought out the caution? I would have definitely had that driver silent or remain nameless. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Takeaway number 4 from Saturday's race, as we'll see if the technology wants to work with us here. There it is. Those two fellas right there, Meyershank Racing, both Marcus Armstrong and Felix Rosenquist collected top 10. So I know obviously this doesn't come as a shock to anyone, I'm sure. But Meyershank Racing on Saturday, obviously we're looking for momentum heading into to the grind. What's going to be the 109th running of the Indianapolis 500. And I thought they were able to reach the brass ring there with both of their drivers collecting top 10s and giving that race team the proverbial shot in the arm of momentum heading into practice today. Marcus Armstrong in the number 66 Sirius XM Honda, which we found out he's going to have a different livery coming up for the 500, came home 7th, while Felix Rosenquist, which I think he has one of the most awesome liveries for the 500. I know Josh probably grew up on this band. He probably still rocks out to him to this day. But Rosenquist there in the number 60 Sirius XM Honda collected a top 10 finish of 10th. So it will be interesting, I think, fellas, to see how this momentum rides for both drivers heading into to practice for the 500. And let's not forget their teammate there, part owner Elio Castroneves, is looking to score his 5th Indianapolis 500 win and crack the record book. So a lot of momentum, I think, over in the camp of Meyershank Racing coming out of Saturday's race. Thoughts?
Michael, why don't you go the first one on this one?
Yeah, it's no surprise that you have good drivers there. Felix has the experience. Marcus Armstrong in his second full-time season. They have that technical alliance with Chip Ganassi Racing, so I really expect them to run well, especially as well as Alex Palou has been running, obviously winning 4 of the last 5 races, and then Kiffin Simpson having his issues early in the before the race even started. I believe he was on for a great showing as well. So with that technical alliance with Chip Ganassi Racing, they should have pretty good cars, good equipment, good strategy. So yeah, both of them in the top 10 is phenomenal for them coming into Indy 500. Marcus probably has a little bit less experience on the ovals, but performed pretty well last year. So we'll just have to see here in a couple of weeks what they can do.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with what Michael said. It was a great thing for Meyershank, to have two, as we said, to have 2 cars up there in the top 10, and for Armstrong to, not have as much experience, but be able to go out and produce that well on the on the road course. So looking forward to seeing how they do. And yes, Felix Rosenquist with his liberty of of Creed, the band Creed. If from the early 2000s, I've seen all kinds of parodies made up of that. Hold Me Now, I'm 6 feet from the wall and I'm getting closer. So we'll see. It's a good thing for both of them, and I hope they qualify good this coming weekend.
Yeah, I thought someone else outside of the Meyershank Racing Camp that I thought grabbed a little bit of momentum coming out of Saturday's race was this individual right here, Rinus VeeKay. Obviously, back-to-back strong performances, first at Barber a couple weeks ago, and then this past Saturday, like I said, 1 week ago, VeeKay just missed collecting his 5th career podium finish, finishing 4th at Barber. And then this past Saturday, another strong finish for VeeKay, who collected his 29th, if you can believe that, 29th top 10 by finishing 9th. So again, momentum obviously is in the Meyershank Racing Camp, but I think also too back-to-back finishes. I know they're on road courses for VeeKay. Definitely has to be riding high going into practice, which started today. Fellas, want to get your thoughts on the strong back-to-back performances by one Rinus VeeKay.
Oh yeah, definitely. Big ups to VeeKay for the performance he's had these last couple of races, showing that he can still race with the big boys. And this is an audition, in my opinion, for maybe somebody comes along and picks him up during silly season this coming fall. After the season is over, maybe he goes to Meyershank is they're a reputable team, but they're not one of the big three, in my opinion. And maybe one of the big three has a seat open up, and they go ahead and pick up Rinus VeeKay.
Yeah, so you brought him up in your takeaways. I think I brought him up in winners and losers. And I actually wrote an article about Rinus today. This is his 3rd top 10 of the year. Incredible season so far for a team that had 9 different drivers last year in their 2 cars, 4 different drivers in the 18. That experience, that leadership that Rinus has brought into Dale Coyne Racing has really shined. I mean, there's not much more to say about it. You can go read my article. It's in depth about my conversation with him after the race. It was just a great weekend for him, and he had a lot of confidence going into the race. So put it all together.
Yeah, definitely the start. I think not only Rinus VeeKay, but Dale Coyne envisioned when he signed him. He was one of the last ones, if not the last driver to sign for one of those full-time rides this year. So definitely it's paying off, not only for Rinus, who could, as Josh just alluded to, maybe find his way to a bigger seat next year, Team Penske perhaps, but Dale Coyne as well. It seems like that's where drivers go when they want to find their confidence or regain it for that matter. And obviously that is what Rinus VeeKay has done with these back-to-back finishes, first at Barber and then this past Saturday at the Sonsio Grand Prix. Next guy that it really looked like, fellas, was going to break the stranglehold that Alex Palou had on the road courses, and it has to be this guy right here, Ohio's own Graham Rahal. He was close, but just not close enough. And I know I've said that before about other teams, but I felt, Graham was close. He was right there, but one issue he had in the pits kind of cost him not only a win, but a podium finish. But what a storybook ending it could have been for Graham Rahal in the number 15 Fifth Third Bank Honda for Rahal Letterman Lanigan Racing. Heading into Saturday, if you can believe this or not, Rahal has not visited Victory Lane, and I know I'm using a NASCAR term, since the second race of Detroit. Ready for this? 2017. That's how long it's been since Graham Rahal won a race. And for the most part on Saturday, it seemed like, Graham could have seen the light at the end of the tunnel there as, he took the lead on the opening laps as we witnessed there in the show opener. He led a race high 49 laps. But again, that racing luck wasn't on the side of Rahal. His late problems he just couldn't overcome, which caused him to finish 6th. And he did pick up his 146th career top 10 finish, but close, but not close enough. And obviously the results aren't what Graham Rahal and his team were looking for on Saturday. So curious, guys. Graham Rahal, close, but not close enough.
Yeah, his crew chief cost him this. His crew chief totally cost him this with his tire strategy. And I'm not one to talk about tire strategy, but that's exactly what he did. With the stipulation this time of that they had to go with 2 sets of each of the primary, 2 sets of the primary, 2 sets of the alternate tires. He started on the alternate tire, which is, as Michael has told me throughout the weekend, was the best tire. And then they decided to end on the primaries, which we all know. If you looked at it, the primaries weren't good. The alternate tires were what was best, and I think they left him out there one lap too many, and his back end started going. Palou even said that he saw that his back end was going, and that's when he decided he was just going to go past him. And at that particular point, the bobble in the mishap in pit road didn't cost him the race. It was the tire strategy. Graham could have, if he would have matched Palou's tire strategy, I think he would have had a better chance. But with how they chose to line up their tire strategy, it wasn't going to be good.
Yeah, starting on the sticker alternates didn't really help with Palou being on the alternates, the scuff alternates. So I really needed to match Palou, but running those stickers is what got him the lead. Running, I guess, the sticker reds is what got him the lead. At that point, he should have went primary and ended on the scuff reds, but leaving him out that one extra lap, you heard that on our, the video we watched to start the episode. He wanted to come in one lap earlier. Pit stop kind of messed him up, having to jack the car back up. And then he was going to have problems with traffic, even leaving the pit box. So, that kind of derailed his race. But at the same time, RLL getting all 3 cars in the Fast 6 for the first time. It's definitely a boost of momentum, and I actually asked Graham about that today, so we'll hear about that a little bit later on.
Yeah, like I said, close, but not close enough. But you know what, though? It's a better showing from RRLL than what we've seen in previous trips to Indy. So hopefully they're able to figure some things out and, get every car that they brought here in the show for the 500 coming up in a week or so. All right, last but not least, and again, stop me. Stop me if you've heard this before, but who else but Palou? It's Palou's world, and we're just traveling through it at this moment in time. But, we've talked about this time and time again. Well, that's probably because he's won 4 out of the last 5 races. But I'm not sure right now what else can be said about Alex Palou in the 2025 season. And again, Palou showed that this past weekend's race was, just another day in the office for Alex Palou, collecting his 8th NTT P1 award. That means he got the pole. That's the award you get for that. He took the lead on lap 58 led 29 laps total, which gives Alex over 1,100. Actually, I think it's right at 1,100 for his career. And again, like I said, picking up his 4th win in 5 races this season, 15th career win, and his 3rd straight Sonsio Grand Prix victory. And to all of those accolades that Palou picked up this weekend, his points lead, fellas, went from 60 points to 90 points. So, chew on that for a minute. But again, I'm not sure what else can be said right now about Alex Palou. He is in just a totally different stratosphere when it comes to driving. And the only thing I can think of, and I know there are people out there that hate the fact that what Alex Palou is doing, but I would counter their hate and argument by saying this. I'm comparing historically what Alex Palou is doing. And again, I don't pay a lot of attention to the NBA, but I would compare what Alex Palou is doing to what the Chicago Bulls did in the late 90s, where they were winning championship after championship after championship because they were that good. And I think right now that's where Alex Palou is. He is in a different stratosphere when it comes to getting behind a NTT Indy car. So, guys, I'm kind of curious to hear your thoughts. Alex Palou being in a different stratosphere than all the other drivers right now.
I mean, I don't know what else there is to say. I don't know why anyone would hate on the fact, well, what he's doing. I know the drivers aren't happy, but they're joking every time. Even it was Pato and the second and third place drivers when they were up there. I believe it was Pato and Will Power, or it could have been Dixon. It's been a long day, but they were even joking. They said when people would ask what they could do to catch Palou, and I think one of them said stab his tire, do something, slow him down somehow, which is impossible. So why you would hate on someone making history, I have no idea. But he's a phenomenal driver, and I mean, somebody's eventually gonna have to catch him.
Yeah, I mean, Derik and Josh, I talked to both of you about it. This is just history in the making. I mean, Alex Palou is just that good of a driver. You brought up the Chicago Bulls. I'll bring up Jimmy Johnson in NASCAR. We'll bring up Lewis Hamilton or Max Verstappen in Formula One. I mean, we're seeing history here. And people complaining about it, oh, Alex Palou's winning too much or things like that. Well, he's just good right now. His team is good. He's good. They're not having mechanical failures. They're not having pit road problems. The guy is good. He's figured out this car, and we haven't had a car change since, 2013, really? Same chassis. The only thing we've changed in the last, 10, 12 years, we've added the hybrid system. So, I mean, this car has been the same for years. So, for Alex to come in, he's won, 2 of the last 3 championships. He's going for, 3 of the last 4. So at the end of the day, that he is just a phenomenal race car driver. And, would he be good in other leagues and other series? I don't know. But in IndyCar, he is the top driver right now. And you're going to need a miracle to catch him, but there is such a thing as ovals, and he's never won on an oval. So we'll see what happens coming up. We have Indy, and then we run into a string of ovals where he could have some issues.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see if Palou is dominant in the back half as he's been in the front half, like you mentioned, with those ovals coming up, Indianapolis, Iowa, Milwaukee, Nashville. So definitely going to be a storyline worth watching. I know Josh was talking about some of the drivers or asking what to do. Let's listen in on a couple interviews from the podium finishers this past Saturday.
4 wins in 5 races. You make me feel like a rookie. I've already run out of good things to say about you. What an unbelievable start you're having.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I cannot describe the amazing season we had so far. I mean, I owe everything to the team, Chip Ganassi Racing, my teammates, and everybody that is working behind the scenes to make me look so fast on track. So yeah, it's amazing. It's unbelievable. Hopefully we get to stay here again in a couple of weeks for the biggest race of the year. And yeah, cannot say anything else than just thank you.
Congratulations, champ. We're going to go to Pato O'Ward. Pato, P2 today. What's it going to take to beat this guy?
Go faster, I guess. Good thing is we go really fast in the next one, and man, this place is special. Really is. It's always, you know, so amazing to come back, and this is a great point stay for the 5 car here at our McLaren Chevy. Good to have 2 Chevys up there, but yeah, we need to do something to stop this 10 car. These guys are really on a roll. I don't think I've ever seen anything like it, especially in IndyCar. So yeah, we just got to keep on working.
Thanks, Pato.
Can't disagree with you more. I mean, I don't know how much more work you can put in as a driver to match what Alex Palou is doing right now. But like I said, like Michael said, a lot of ovals coming up, so it's going to be interesting to see if Alex Palou can sustain that momentum and that winning that he has done here for the first 4 out of the first 5 races for sure. Before we get to Saturday's results, and we'll take a look at the up-to-date point standings. I know Michael mentioned this earlier. He did put out an article today. He put out a couple today, actually, and I would say go over to yournews.com, check those out and share them. But one of them he did put out was winners and losers from this past weekend. So, Michael, kind of curious to get your intake on the winners and losers from this past weekend.
Yeah, so we talked about several of these drivers already, 2 of them being Graham Rahal and Rinus VeeKay. I mean, both of them had great runs this past weekend. Graham Rahal, obviously being in the Fast 6, leading, race high 49 laps, outstanding for that organization who struggled mightily here, really since last season, to be honest. Rinus VeeKay, we talked about him and his success at Dale Coyne Racing. Another driver I threw on there is Scott Dixon. He's having a terrible time in qualifying, but he's getting the finishes. That's finishing 5th. He started outside the top 10. I started 16th, so he's made up quite a bit as well. Louis Foster, his rookie season, hasn't been great to him, but inside the Fast 6, so put him on the list. And then this one is very, very sentimental to me because this guy has struggled mightily, and not necessarily him as a driver, but his team has really dropped the ball for him, and that's Robert Schwartzman. Prema has just been horrible, and we'll talk about them a little bit more here coming up. But this guy, I don't know that he's got a full practice session in this season. I mean, he's had a fire on on an out lap, and didn't get a single lap until qualifying at the GP, and still beat his teammate Callum Ilott. He finished 18th. I think it's his best finish of the year. So good for Robert Schwartzman to make I don't know what you want to call it, but he made a good piece of pie out of that crappy race for him. Losers, unfortunately, Devlin DeFrancesco, he was in the top, Fast 6 as well with his teammates, and he had a bad pit cycle. The tires fell off. Just a horrible race for him. Kiffin Simpson, who never even took the green flag, had tons of speed all weekend. Really felt that he would have got a good, probably top 8 finish, right there with the Chip Ganassi cars as well. And then Andretti Global just had a horrible weekend. Didn't seem to have any speed. Herta got caught up and needed a wing replaced. Marcus Ericsson had a horrendous weekend, and then had some sort of mechanical issue. The only bright spot was Kyle Kirkwood, who actually finished 8th. So, he made up 13 spots in the race. So, I mean, he didn't have any speed until Sunday. So, and then the last loser, unfortunately, is a guy that I've been high on all year. I picked him to win the race in our pick polls. Was Christian Lundgaard. This race was like they hit the self-destruct button because he had the pit road penalty crossing the white line on the exit. He made a mistake there. He was terrible in qualifying. I actually wrote an article about him and talked to him before, the race after morning warmups, and he seemed pretty optimistic, and it just really didn't come to fruition. So, Lundgaard, man, he's the only bright hope for Chevy right now. So they need to figure it out, and hopefully they can come out strong for the 500.
Josh, before we get to the results for Saturday's race, anything you want to add to Michael's winners and losers there?
No, he did a great job. He was very astute in his observations. I fully agree. I thought Lundgaard was going to do a lot better, and as me and Michael were walking along the garages on Saturday, I asked him his thoughts on Prema, because I don't ever really, I know they came in, they're new, but they've been in other circuits before, but this is their first foray that I know of into IndyCar, and I asked him how he thought, and I kind of agree. You don't really ever hear anything about Prema except for when their drivers are not finishing, or just, I don't know if it's just getting the program up off the ground, and it's going to take a little while, but I hope that they can find some stability sometime before the end of the season.
It's interesting, Josh, that you bring up that you were, with Michael on Saturday, and that's not the interesting part, but talking about Prema, because I got home. I didn't make it out to the track today, obviously, but I did listen to the radio call as I was watching the speeds come through, and that was actually a big discussion they had with Callum Ilott, just talking about trying to get this racing team up off the ground, what they were trying to do today and set a base. And it was interesting hearing from the race teams, because I'm sure Michael can talk more about this, but all the teams seemed like this first day of practice, they were setting a baseline, like a baseline speed, and just how far behind Prema is compared to the other race teams. And again, I know this analogy is probably, way overused, but it was a lot like, drinking from a fire hose is what it seemed like when it came to how far behind realistically Prema is to all of the other NTT IndyCar teams. So hopefully, they're able to get their sea legs under them, so to say, and they're able to get a good showing here at the 500, because these first 5 races, as Michael alluded to, and his winners and losers just haven't been the results that I think Prema was looking for coming into 2025. But speaking of the results, here's the race rundown from Saturday. Full field rundown. Obviously, your winner, Alex Palou, followed by Pato Award and Will Power. And then it was Scott McLaughlin, Scott Dixon, Graham Rahal, Marcus Armstrong, Kyle Kirkwood, Renus VK, and Felix Rosenquist rounded out your top 10. Your highest rookie was Louis Foster in 11th. Then it was Joseph Newgarden, Nolan Siegel, Alexander Rossi, Connor Daly, Christian Lundgaard, Devlin DeFrancesca, rookie Robert Schwartzman, Christian Rasmussen, and Santino Ferrucci rounded out your top 20. Then it was Josh's favorite driver there, Stingray Robb. Great livery he has as well. Definitely love that. Callum Ilott, David Malukas, Jacob Abel, the throwback to the Spin and Win by Danny Sullivan livery. Love that as well for the 500. Colton Herta, Marcus Armstrong, and then, as Michael alluded to there, Kiffin Simpson rounded out the last of the 27 drivers that took place in Saturday's race. Switching over to the current NTT IndyCar points standings. I know this is trying to find a site where I can clip this from, that it's so much easier to read. But unfortunately, you have to clip it in two different ones, and I'm not sure how well that would be on the slide. But we're still working on it. It's definitely still a work in progress. Alex Palou is the points leader over Kyle Kirkwood, followed by Christian Lundgaard, Pato Award, Scott McLaughlin, Scott Dixon, Will Power, Felix Rosenquist, Colton Herta, and Rinus VeeKay round out the top 10. Followed then Alexander Rossi, Joseph Newgarden, Graham Rahal, Marcus Armstrong, Santino Ferrucci, Marcus Ericsson, Christian Rasmussen, Nolan Siegel, David Malukas, and Kiffin Simpson round out the top 20. Then it's Connor Daly, Stingray Robb, Louis Foster, Robert Schwartzman, Devlin DeFrancesca, Callum Ilott, and Jacob Abel round out the 27 drivers right now for the points championship chase. Now, this next segment is usually not my favorite, but you know what? For this week, I will absolutely love our race pick segment. Normally, it is the ugly stepchild of the show, but not this week, as you see here. If I can make this just a little bigger, I did go out on the proverbial limb there. Okay, maybe not. I did take Alex Palou, which garnered me a second victory of the season. Josh went with Scott McLaughlin. Michael went with Christian Lundgaard, which I thought that was probably a pretty safe pick outside of Alex Palou. And then you see for the third week in a row, our guest picker there, Joy, went with Joseph Newgarden, and she came up short there as well. So you see the totals down there at the bottom. Myself, along with Josh, are tied at 2. Michael, who I'm sure will pick it up in the second half of the season, has 1 victory, and Joy is still seeking her first victory of the season as well. So that takes a look at our picks so far in 2025. Before we move on, let's talk about some of the great sponsors here that make up the Push to Pass podcast. So let's do that right now. Again, a huge thank you first and foremost to Always Ready 1776. If you are in the need or looking for patriotic apparel, headwear, and more, go check out Always Ready 1776, and you can find them on the web at alwaysready1776.com. If you do peruse around there and do find something that you would like to purchase, make sure you use that promo code right there at checkout, Push to Pass, to get 10% off of your order. That's Always Ready 1776. Again, another great sponsor of the Push to Pass podcast is Gettum Associates. For all of your home design, build, and remodeling needs, remember, it's Gettum Associates. And you can find them on the web as well at Gettum.com. And if you do choose to use their services, you get $250 off any design service just by using the promo code there, Push to Pass. So huge thank you both to Always Ready 1776 and Gettum Associates for being proud sponsors of the Push to Pass podcast. All right. With all of that being said, I think we've done. I think we've covered and recapped every angle that we can of the Sonsio Grand Prix. So I think we can kind of shut the book on that. We can start setting our sights on the 109th running of the Indianapolis 500. I know today it was like a barrage of releases of liveries for the Indianapolis 500. So I did put a montage, not a montage, but a cluster together. I don't think that's right. Pictures of the liveries that were released today that Michael may have seen on track. So I want to put these up on screen for everyone. If you have not seen them yet, again, like I said, the first one there for Felix Rosenquist, the Creed livery, and then the Sirius XM channel Turbo, where you can find Creed, and I'm sure Josh has that locked in on his radio. That is what Felix Rosenquist is going to be driving this 500 season. And then the next one over is going to be Connor Daly. He has a new sponsor, primary sponsor for the 500. And then I do believe, if I remember reading that correctly, this is going to be out west at Portland and Monterey as well. It's AM, PM. I know they're gas stations, more found particularly out west. And then I think there is a cluster of them in New York as well. So that's what Connor Daly's is going to look like. And then you have Louis Foster with an interesting brand of organic tequila is what he's going to be showing off there at the 500. And then Allegra, for people out there that may have allergies and use Allegra, Marcus Ericsson now has brought them into the fold for the 500 as well. So fellas, kind of curious to get your thoughts on these liveries, and I'd like to take a vote at the end which one you think is the sharpest livery. So curious to get your thoughts on those.
Those four liveries are interesting. I like the Creed, but sorry, I'm on mute. Those four were pretty cool. I like the Creed one, trying to Creed's become more popular over the last couple of years. They've gone back on a tour, but I particularly like. Derik, can you bring them back up? I like the one that's right under the Creed. I think that one looks really slick to me. That's for which one? What's that for? That's not the AM PM one, is it?
You're saying the one right underneath there?
Yeah, it's like a turquoise.
That is a organic tequila company. Let me see if I can pull the article up. I know I did one earlier today.
We always love tequila. We love tequila.
It has a new organic tequila, and that's going to be featured on the number 45 Honda for Louis Foster for Rahal Letterman Lanigan Racing.
I like that. That's pretty cool. And then the Allegra car, that's I always talk about the Liberty, the sponsors for some of these places. I have to Google a lot of these ones sometimes, but I know what Allegra is because I take that every morning because I have terrible allergies. But I do like the Louis Foster organic tequila the best.
Yes, the Louis Foster's car is awesome. I did see it in person today, and the picture there does not do it justice. It's more of like a mint chocolate chip ice cream colored green. It looks really, really fantastic in person. The AM/PM, I'm not sure about it. The Allegra car is really cool because we always talk about consumable products and racing, and that's really how you can connect fans with a team or a driver. So consumables are good if you need them. So the Allegra car is really, really cool. And I might be one of the only people on the planet that doesn't like Creed, but, that's just me.
You know what? I think you just have hurt Josh's feelings by that, because I'm willing to bet. And again, I didn't go to school with Josh, but I'm willing to bet when he rolled to school every day, he was thumping Creed, Get Me Higher. I believe that's how the song goes. And I can see, and again, somebody's going to change the lyrics, and Felix is going to get on the radio and say, get me a tire. I don't want to go higher. Get me a tire. I can see it already. All right, I'm here all week. That was a terrible joke. But I'm going to have to say, if I'm going to pick my favorite livery out of those four that were released today, I definitely thought that the organic tequila, I don't know if that's a chocolate mint color. I definitely love that livery, and obviously can't wait to get out there Thursday and see it in person there. As Michael alluded to, that I guess pictures just don't do it justice. So can't wait to get out there and see all the new liveries. I'm kind of curious too, being Michael being a race historian and Josh, want to get your thoughts on this too. What did you think about Jacob Abel coming out with the Danny Sullivan tribute to Danny Sullivan with the Miller High Life?
Anytime we can throw back to a former, champion or awesome paint scheme, I guess, it is always fantastic. And yet again, it's another consumable product. If you're over the age of 21, you can go get you a Miller High Life, and you can support the team.
Definitely, like we have said, consumable products. Something, I'm waiting on someone to pull out the Marlboro cars. I thought those were cool back in the days, but I do love the Miller High Life cars. Tribute to the spin to win Danny Sullivan. That's a great tribute.
Yeah, it absolutely is for sure. Let's move on here. I know we got a few minutes left, and we did have opening day, as some and that follow baseball, that they make it a holiday. Maybe it's a family holiday, but we did have opening day out at the track. Michael was out there. He covered it from its start, which was supposed to be at noon, but they had a media bullpen session, so I know he covered that. Let's get into, Michael, a little bit of what took place today out at the track, and then we'll play the interviews that you're able to gather with some of those drivers from that media bullpen session.
Yeah, so I just jotted down a few takeaways from what I seen today. Obviously the rain, we wanted it to go away. Like you said, it started about 2 hours and 35 minutes late, started around 2:35, I think is when the green flag was flown. And then, with about 19 minutes left in the session, we got that lightning. So, that kind of sucked, that we lost all that time on track. From what I seen, there was 3 teams that really looked fantastic today: the Penske, the Ganassi, along with Elio and the Meyer-Shank team, and then the Andretti cars. All 3 of those organizations look really, really well. On the other end, Arrow McLaren did not look very, very well today. And, from Rahal, Letterman, Lanigan, we just talked about how well they were last weekend in qualifying. They did not look fast today. So I'm not sure if, we got some cars in race trim, some working a little bit towards qualifying. But, not very good for Arrow or Rahal, Letterman, Lanigan. We talked about a little bit earlier. Josh is wearing his Dan Weldon shirt. Colton Herta's running the Dan Weldon 26 with the red outline, which is really cool. As someone who really liked Dan Weldon, that's a great tribute. 20-year anniversary of him winning his first 500. And then you can tell that Kyle Larson is here because don't try and go down by Arrow McLaren's garage stalls. It's just packed. There's people everywhere. So he is here. He took some laps today. He did confirm post practice in a press conference that he will not run for the pole. If he makes it to the Fast Six, he will be leaving to make it to the NASCAR All-Star race Sunday night. So he will not win the pole for the Indy 500. And then we talked about this team quite a bit. Prema is a disaster. Poor Robert Schwartzman got 6 laps today. Callum Eilert got 16. I just don't know what this team's doing. I honestly believe that one of their cars will be bumped from this year's 500. I was talking to a member of another team today. Well, actually, it wasn't today. It was the past weekend, Saturday. I was talking to another team member, and they told me that half of the team is from Italy. So they're trying to work through some language barriers, it sounds like, and they're just not up to speed. And Callum Eilert has the same race engineer he had when he was at Juncos Hollinger Racing. So, their team is just not on the up and up right now, and hopefully they can figure it out before they get too far into trouble, and they end up leaving the sport altogether, because new teams are fresh for the sport and good for the sport. So, that's pretty much really all on-track stuff. I've seen a lot of drivers today signing autographs during the rain delay and things like that, hanging out with the fans. Pato Award was out there. Marco Andretti was out there. David Malukas, I seen multiple times. He was up actually in the stands a little bit, so that was kind of cool. I seen both Stingray Robb, Connor Daly out a lot. So it's very, very cool for the fans. I've seen a lot of kids out there today, which is always great to get kids to the racetrack. I think a few schools even had some kids out on field trips. So anytime we can get some younger eyes on the sport is always good.
Michael, before we get into the interviews that you conducted in the media bullpen, I have to ask, were you able to score yourself any of the Puma shoes that Prema Racing wears?
No, not yet. I wish I can. If the team, for some reason, doesn't succeed in IndyCar, they may just be throwing them away. So I'll be in the trash looking for some. So yes, if anyone from Prema is happened to stumble across this, I would definitely like a pair of the Pumas, because they are amazing.
Well, we will. I'll get on that and see what I can conjure up in a good way. But we'll show the practice one speeds here right before we close things up. But again, like I said, Michael earlier did attend the media bullpen session. So let's listen to the interviews that he collected from a multitude of drivers this morning.
This is your third attempt at the Indy 500, third different team. What's the, feel like in the team? How's preparation changed this year versus the other two?
I mean, everything is it's constantly evolving, right? Whether you are with the same team or not, you're always trying to change things up to get it right. I think for me, the things I've noticed the most is sort of the leadership within the team. And when you have good leadership, you get to see the boxes get checked consistently. And that's the most important thing, is preparation around this place. The team I'm with now in JHR, I love these guys. And the crew, they do not make many mistakes, if any at all. And that's shown. I mean, finishing laps, being on track at any given moment, getting as much seat time as possible. You give yourself an opportunity to improve, and they do that.
You were pretty successful on ovals last year with AJ Foyt. You feel like that's a strong suit for you?
I mean, I think that ovals are a funny thing, right? Because if you have a good car, it's going to be a good day. If you have a bad car, it's going to be a really bad day. And that's not to say that the driver isn't involved, but I think that, I understand a little bit more of what any car needs to be on an oval, so that's good. But I mean, I think that in the past, I would say that I'm more of a road course or a street course driver, because those are the things I enjoy. So we'll see. I would like to say that I'm an oval driver on oval weekends, and I'm a road course driver on road course weekends. I'm a street course driver on street course weekends, but that's not how it works all the time. So I'll keep moving forward. Hopefully it pays off this month.
Thank you. So this is your third attempt at the Indy 500, third different. You've been in the middle of the pack. Yeah. Now you know what adjustments you need to make inside the car and with the team. Yeah. So what do you think, is your expectations coming into qualifying and then the race itself?
I think you just need to get out there and just execute, dot your I's, cross your T's. You got to let it happen too. You can't just preempt anything here. Just building the experience and being better and better every year is the main goal. But yeah, there's no doubt in my mind I'm ready to win this race.
And then you come from supercars, a lot of road courses, street courses, but you're really well on the ovals. How did you transition so well to ovals?
I don't know. I think I just had a blank page. I just didn't really know what to feel, what to think. So I just went out there and just felt it, and I really liked it. I mean, obviously I've got a great team with me that set me up on some really good setups and don't push the barrow too much for me, so I don't get too nervous or whatnot. But it's a whole team effort for sure.
And then when are we going to see you and SVG race together?
I don't know. We saw it this year at Daytona, but I don't know. I'm fully focused on this right now.
The atmosphere around the shop and the garage after this past weekend at the GP.
Yeah, a lot better, I think there's a lot more positivity to everything right now than what we've had, so it's good.
How is the diversity with Sirius, being able to bring on so many different partners, is special to you and the team?
Sorry, again,
the diversity of having Sirius and then being able to bring in so many different partners and sponsorships.
It's super cool, man. It's a great partner to have in that sense that we're giving something to the fans as well. We're giving entertainment and big names coming to join us at the track. We have Creed this weekend, and we had some huge name. Like we ended the season with Diplo last year, and he was playing in front of the fans and stuff. So it's cool when you can do. Obviously, every partnership is precious to us, and it's very valuable, and that's what runs the whole business. But when you can give something to the people as well, I think that's even more special.
Great job there, Michael, earlier today at the media bullpen session. If you go over to yournews.com, you'll be able to find all of those interviews. I couldn't get some of them to play, so definitely go check out Michael's work that he did this morning talking to all of those drivers. Now, speeds from today, like I said, this was opening day, so some of these may change, obviously, as the days unfold. I know a lot more is probably going to happen Thursday and Friday, just due to the fact of looking at temperatures. I think temperatures Thursday and Friday and conditions are going to be a whole lot more race-like than they were today. And I know tomorrow it looks like they could get a little bit of rain as well, so things may get backed up tomorrow a little bit as well. It looks like I may be having a little bit of trouble with the practice graphic coming up, so I will read the speed chart here. Topping the speed chart today was Will Power at 227.026. He was followed by his teammate and two-time defending Indy 500 champion Joseph Newgarden, Alex Palou, Scott Dixon, Scott McLaughlin, Elio Castroneves, Alexander Rossi, Marcus Armstrong, Marcus Ericsson, and Marco Andretti round out the top 10. Then it was Christian Rasmussen, followed by David Malukas, Jack Harvey, Ryan Hunter-Reay, Ed Carpenter, Colton Herta, Stingray Robb, Felix Rosenquist, Kyle Kirkwood, and rookie Nolan Siegel rounded out the top 20. Following them, Connor Daly, Kiffin Simpson, Christian Lundgaard, Kyle Larson, Devlin DeFrancesca, Graham Rahal, Santino Ferrucci, Jacob Abel, Pato Award, Louis Foster, Takuma Sato, Rinus VK, Robert Schwartzman, and Callum Ilott round out the 34 cars that were on track earlier today, which ran a total of just under 1,600 laps, 1,549 laps to be exact. Again, tomorrow, things pick up a little bit more out at the Speedway. Obviously, they're going to try to get another full practice session from noon to 6 p.m., obviously weather permitted. I know, Josh, I know you talked about going out there tomorrow. I don't think Michael is going to make it out here tomorrow unless something changes. And then obviously Thursday and Friday, same thing, noon to 6 p.m. Weather may be a lot better. Looks like high in the mid 80s. Looks like for Thursday and Friday, a lot of sunshine. I know I'm going to be out there. Hopefully Michael or Josh or both will be able to be out there as well. But before we wrap things up, just going to get a synopsis. Josh, I know you weren't out there today, but looking at these speed chart today, kind of curious what your thoughts are on this.
Well, I mean, it was. I mean, like we said, it was a rain shortened, lightning shortened. So I mean, you're going to take it with a grain of salt. It's the first time they're getting out there in the month of May going on the oval. So I'm not really putting too much stock into it. Hopefully over the next couple of days, they'll be able to put down a lot more laps in the hundreds of laps, hopefully. And we'll get a better view and a better outlook of what we're going to see on Saturday and Sunday for qualifying. Michael, what did you think of the times and the laps?
Yeah, pretty much the same. I mean, like I said, I feel like the Penske cars are really good. I feel like the Ganassi and Meyer Shank cars are pretty decent. And yeah, I believe Andretti's got some pretty fast cars. But yeah, like you said, it's day one. We'll see what happens. You know, cars just going around the track trying to get install laps and things like that. So we'll see later on this week what happens. Does sound like the weather's going to get better for Thursday. Could be Friday. Could be really really hot and slick. So that'll be interesting to get some ideas for qualifying. But I did think I'd seen something where we could have some severe storms Thursday evening. So it could wipe off some of the rubber that's on the racetrack and have a green track for Friday. So could be hot and slick and very interesting Friday. And then, with qualifying coming up as well, that'd be very interesting.
Definitely something to continue to monitor and look at up here within the next couple days, definitely for sure. So I think that does it. I see the checkered flag ahead of us. That means another episode of the Push to Pass podcast is now in the books. If you did happen to miss something this evening, you can always go back on YouTube or X to see the replay of it. Huge thank you to everyone that did join us on those platforms this evening. Definitely love that you are a part. Thank you both, as always, to Josh and Michael for their contributions here on the Push to Pass podcast as well. So we will be back again in 1 week's time for, and I know Josh is going to like this, for the big enchilada. It is the 109th running of the Indianapolis 500. Hopefully we can get some special guests, as we have in the past, to join us. Still working on that, so we'll see how that progresses through the week into next week. So for myself and Josh and Michael and everyone else that makes up the Push to Pass podcast, until next week, so long, everybody.
The road to the Indianapolis 500 is almost as tough as the race itself. But with the checkered flag in sight, the question you might be asking yourself is, what's up with the milk? Back in 1936, when Louis Meyer won the 500 for the third time, he reached for the only thing they kept cold back then, buttermilk.
Well, that race would make anybody thirsty.
Ice cold milk, king of the dairy world, elixir of the gods. Dairy farmers knew this was their chance to become a part of the action, providing milk for the next 90 years. Flash forward to today. Before every Indy 500, each driver gets to pick what type of milk they want if they win. Last year's winner, Joseph Newgarden, went with whole. This year, who knows? I got my money on skim.